When most people hear the name Yahweh, they think of the benevolent, all-powerful God of the Old Testament, the creator of everything, the source of life, and the ultimate authority on morality. But what if I told you that there's a much darker and more complex interpretation of Yahweh that's been hidden away in the shadows of history? According to Gnostic beliefs, Yahweh isn't the supreme God, but rather the Demiurge, a false deity who has trapped humanity in a three-dimensional prison, binding our souls to the material world and keeping us from the divine light. In this exploration, we'll dive deep into the Gnostic worldview, where the material world is not a divine creation, but a prison designed by a malevolent being. This journey will challenge everything you thought you knew about reality, the origins of the universe, and the true nature of the God so many worship. The Gnostic Worldview. To understand the Gnostic interpretation of Yahweh, we first need to explore the basics of Gnosticism itself. Gnosticism, which emerged in the early centuries of the Common Era, presents a starkly dualistic view of the universe. It divides reality into two opposing realms: the spiritual and the material, light and darkness, truth and illusion. In Gnostic cosmology, the true God is a transcendent and ineffable being, referred to as the monad, or the One, existing beyond the physical universe in a realm of pure light and divine fullness, called the Pleroma. Within this divine realm, countless beings known as eons reside, each representing various aspects of the divine nature. However, this harmonious existence was disrupted when one of these eons, Sophia, representing divine wisdom, attempted to understand the unknowable depths of the monad. This attempt led to the creation of a flawed and ignorant being, the Demiurge. The Demiurge, in his arrogance, believed himself to be the true God and went on to create the material universe, a place of shadows and deception designed to trap souls and keep them separated from the divine light. Gnostics identify the Demiurge with Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament. Unlike the loving and wise creator revered in mainstream religions, the Gnostic Yahweh is portrayed as a tyrannical and deceitful ruler, determined to maintain control over the material world and keep humanity in a state of ignorance. Yahweh as the Demiurge. In the mysterious teachings of Gnosticism, Yahweh is not seen as the benevolent creator, but rather as the Demiurge, a cosmic deceiver who has fashioned the material world as a prison for souls. The universe we inhabit, with all its beauty and complexity, is viewed by Gnostics as a grand illusion, a sophisticated trap designed to keep souls bound to the physical realm and prevent them from returning to the divine light of the Pleroma. The Demiurge, in his ignorance and arrogance, believes himself to be the only God. He creates the material world as a reflection of his own flawed nature, filled with suffering, imperfection, and death. This world is a far cry from the divine fullness of the Pleroma. Instead of being a place of beauty and harmony, it is a prison where the divine spark within each human being is buried beneath layers of material existence. For Gnostics, the laws and commandments given by Yahweh in the Old Testament are not the moral guidelines of a loving deity, but the tools of a jailer. These laws are seen as mechanisms of control, designed to keep humanity obedient and unaware of the spiritual truths that could free them. The rituals, sacrifices, and strictures of religious law are viewed as chains, binding the soul more tightly to the material world and further entrenching the Demiurge's dominion. In this dark and mysterious narrative, Yahweh becomes a figure of cosmic deception, a false god who seeks to maintain his power by keeping humanity in a perpetual state of spiritual blindness. The material world, so often celebrated as a divine creation, is, in fact, a carefully constructed illusion, a matrix of control designed to keep the soul from awakening to its true nature. The three-dimensional prison. To the Gnostic, the material world isn't just flawed, it's a carefully crafted illusion, a web of deception woven by the Demiurge to trap souls in an endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. This three-dimensional prison, as Gnostics describe it, is a world of shadows where the light of truth is obscured and the divine spark within each soul is buried beneath layers of material existence. In Gnostic cosmology, the universe is often depicted as a series of concentric spheres or layers, with Earth at the center and the divine realm of the Pleroma existing far beyond the outermost layer. These spheres, known as the heavens or realms of the archons, are guarded by malevolent beings who serve the Demiurge. The archons, dark and powerful entities, act as cosmic wardens, preventing souls from escaping the material prison and returning to the light of the true God. The archons are more than just jailers. They are deceivers, constantly working to maintain the illusion of the material world. They manipulate human perception, creating a false sense of reality that keeps souls trapped in a cycle of ignorance and suffering. The physical senses, which we rely on to understand our world, are the very tools the archons use to keep us bound to the material realm. Gnosis, or true knowledge, is not something that can be gained through the physical senses or intellectual reasoning. It is a deep, inner awakening, a realization of the soul's divine origin and its imprisonment in the material world. Gnosis is the key to escaping the three-dimensional prison and returning to the Pleroma, the realm of pure light and divine truth. Gnosis and the escape from the Demiurge's dominion. The path to liberation in Gnosticism is a deeply personal journey, a quest for Gnosis, the hidden knowledge that reveals the true nature of reality and the self. This knowledge isn't just intellectual. It's a transformative experience that awakens the soul to its divine origin and its imprisonment in the material world. Gnosis is the realization that the material world is a lie, a deceptive construct created by the Demiurge to keep souls in a state of ignorance and suffering. It is the understanding that the soul is not truly a part of this world, but a fragment of the divine light that has been trapped in the physical realm. This realization is the first step on the path to spiritual liberation. For the Gnostics, the teachings of Jesus were seen as a means of awakening humanity to this hidden truth. Jesus, in the Gnostic tradition, is not merely a savior who atones for the sins of humanity, but a revealer of hidden knowledge, a divine messenger sent from the true God to teach the way of Gnosis. His crucifixion is not just a historical event, but a symbolic act of liberation, demonstrating the soul's victory over the material world. Gnostic texts often describe the process of spiritual ascent as a journey through the realms of the archons, where the soul must overcome the deceptions and obstacles placed by these malevolent beings. This journey requires the soul to shed the illusions of the material world and embrace its true nature as a being of light. The ultimate goal of the Gnostic path is to escape the cycle of reincarnation and return to the Pleroma, the divine fullness from which the soul originated. This is no easy task. It requires the soul to overcome the powerful forces of the Demiurge and his archons, to break free from the chains of material existence and ascend to the light of the true God. The Demiurge and dark conspiracy theories. One of the most pervasive conspiracy theories linking the Demiurge to modern power structures involves the so-called Illuminati. According to this theory, the Illuminati is not merely a secret society, but a global network of elites who serve the Demiurge, manipulating world events to enforce his dominion over the material realm. This idea gained significant traction with the rise of the New World Order conspiracy, which posits that a cabal of powerful individuals is working behind the scenes to create a one-world government that would enslave humanity. The theory suggests that the Illuminati, acting as the modern-day archons, are deeply embedded in the highest echelons of power, including governments, financial institutions, and major corporations. Their goal is to consolidate global control, eliminating any resistance to the Demiurge's rule. This is often seen in the context of political and social manipulation, where wars, economic crises, and societal upheavals are not random events, but carefully orchestrated strategies designed to maintain the status quo. One of the most detailed explorations of this theory can be found in David Icke's works, particularly in his book, The Biggest Secret. Icke portrays the world's elite as reptilian shapeshifters, archons in disguise, who manipulate humanity to maintain their power and keep us spiritually asleep. Although Icke's ideas are widely considered controversial and speculative, they echo the Gnostic portrayal of the Demiurge's earthly agents as deceptive forces working to entrap human souls in the material world. In this conspiracy framework, the media, educational systems, and organized religions are not just institutions serving societal needs, but are integral tools of control used by the Demiurge's agents. The media, for instance, is depicted as a means of spreading disinformation, distracting the masses with trivialities while important truths remain hidden. By controlling the narrative, the media ensures that people remain focused on the material world, perpetuating fear, consumerism, and a false sense of reality. Education, rather than being a path to enlightenment, is seen as a way to condition young minds to accept the materialist worldview, discouraging critical thinking and suppressing spiritual inquiry. The emphasis on standardized testing, competition, and conformity is interpreted as a method to stifle creativity and maintain the hierarchical structures that benefit the Demiurge's agents. Organized religion, particularly the Abrahamic faiths, is often portrayed as the most insidious of these tools. According to some interpretations, these religions have been co-opted by the Demiurge to enforce moral codes and dogmas that keep believers in line, discouraging them from seeking true spiritual freedom. In Gnostic terms, the religious institutions serve to bind souls to the Demiurge's law, making it difficult for individuals to pursue gnosis, the true knowledge that leads to liberation. This perspective is not without historical precedent. The Gnostic text, the Hypostasis of the Archons, describes how the Archons, under the leadership of the Demiurge, created false religious systems to deceive humanity. These systems are portrayed as barriers to spiritual awakening, ensuring that souls remain ignorant of their divine origin and trapped within the cycle of rebirth in the material world. Another strand of conspiracy theory suggests that the Demiurge is directly responsible for the suffering and conflict that pervade human history. Wars, natural disasters, and social unrest are seen not as unfortunate byproducts of human nature or natural forces, but as deliberate tools of control wielded by the Demiurge to maintain a state of fear and dependence. This idea can be traced back to the Gnostic view of the material world as a battlefield between the forces of light and darkness. In modern conspiracy thinking, this translates into the belief that the Demiurge, through his earthly agents, orchestrates global conflicts to prevent spiritual awakening. The constant presence of war and suffering keeps humanity focused on survival, distracting us from the pursuit of higher spiritual truths. This concept is explored in depth by authors like John Lash in his book Not in His Image. Lash interprets the Gnostic mythos as a narrative warning against the deceptions of the Demiurge and his archons who manipulate human affairs to maintain their grip on the world. He argues that the suffering imposed by wars and social conflicts serves to drain the life force of humanity, feeding the Demiurge's insatiable need for control. In this view, the endless cycle of conflict, whether through military aggression, economic inequality, or social division, acts as a means of perpetuating the Demiurge's dominion. By keeping humanity in a state of constant turmoil, the Demiurge ensures that we are too preoccupied with our immediate survival to seek spiritual liberation. The chaos and fear generated by these conflicts reinforce the illusion of the material world, making it harder for individuals to see beyond the veil and realize their true divine nature. Escaping the Demiurge's dominion in the modern world. The Gnostic interpretation of Yaweh as the Demiurge and the material world as a prison continues to resonate with spiritual seekers today. In an era marked by disillusionment with traditional religious institutions and growing interest in alternative spirituality, Gnosticism offers a radical reinterpretation of the nature of reality and the human condition. For those who embrace the Gnostic worldview, the key to overcoming the Demiurge's dominion lies in the pursuit of Gnosis. This pursuit involves questioning the accepted narratives of society, seeking out hidden truths, and cultivating a direct, personal connection with the divine. It is a path that requires courage, as it often involves rejecting the comforts and certainties of the material world in favor of a deeper, more profound understanding of existence. In modern spiritual practices, elements of Gnosticism can be found in various forms, from the study of ancient texts like the Nag Hammadi scriptures to contemporary movements that emphasize personal spiritual awakening and the rejection of materialism. The idea of the material world as an illusion, a theme central to Gnostic thought, also appears in other spiritual traditions, such as Buddhism and certain strands of Hinduism, suggesting a universal recognition of the limitations of the physical realm. The Gnostic narrative of Yaweh as the Demiurge challenges us to reconsider our relationship with the material world and the divine. It invites us to look beyond the surface of reality and to seek out the hidden truths that lie beneath. Whether one accepts the literal existence of the Demiurge or views it as a metaphor for the darker aspects of the human condition, the Gnostic message remains powerful and relevant. Conclusion. In the dark and mysterious world of Gnosticism, Yaweh is not the savior of humanity, but the jailer who keeps us trapped in a world of illusion and suffering. The material world, so often celebrated as a divine creation, is revealed to be a deceptive prison, crafted by a malevolent being intent on keeping humanity in a state of spiritual ignorance. Yet despite the bleakness of this worldview, Gnosticism offers a path to liberation, a way out of the Demiurge's prison through the acquisition of Gnosis. By recognizing the illusory nature of the material world and awakening to the divine spark within, we can begin the journey back to the pleroma, the realm of light and truth from which we originated. As we navigate the complexities of the modern world, the Gnostic message remains as relevant as ever. It challenges us to question the reality we perceive, to seek out the hidden truths, and to strive for spiritual freedom in a world that often seems dominated by darkness. Whether through ancient texts or modern interpretations, the Gnostic struggle against the Demiurge continues, a testament to humanity's enduring quest for enlightenment and liberation. If you found this exploration of the dark Gnostic connection to Yahweh intriguing, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the hidden and dark aspects of the esoteric world. See you in the next video.